And Indian startups are contributing a lot in India's growth story. Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, recently praised Indian startup culture and lauded India's 100 unicorns milestone, saying startups, they reflect the spirit of New India. But post-COVID pandemic, Indian and global startups are facing a host of challenges. I recently caught up with some of the global and Indian startups to know how things have changed and how they are handling current challenges of slowing world economy and high inflation. Take a look at the conversation. How has it changed the pandemic for you as a startup or innovator? What are the new challenges or new learnings you had from COVID-19 pandemic?
First, thank you for having me. I'm Andrew Rubin from Illumio, and I think what COVID revealed more than anything else was that we could think outside of the box. We introduced flexibility that we never imagined even 2 years ago in everything from how people work to where they work, but it also forced us to think about how we engage with our customers very differently. And so what we've said to our team at Illumio is, don't think about any rules and don't think about any constraints based on what we did in the past. We're building new operating models and new playbooks day by day based on how the world is operating as we come out of COVID.
Though there are many concerns across the world economy, are you afraid of these concerns? How are you going to meet those challenges? What are the plans?
First, I think that being an entrepreneur without having concern is almost kind of does not exist. So obviously there are concerns. In a good way, I think that those concerns are kind of guiding you to the right place, making you think on how the right business model looks like. Because during COVID, I think the whole world was kind of off grid. You know, we went from one reality to another, very, very fast phase. So there are concerns, and I think that you should not ignore the concerns. You should work with them and see how you eventually solve them towards a much better and more scalable and stronger kind of company that you are building.
Mr. Singhal, for you, the problems are different. It's not just on macro level, but as far as the markets are concerned, they have also come down drastically. How has everything changed for you, and how do you plan to move from here, and how are the things so far? Because Bitcoin prices have come down drastically as well.
So it's the entire sector, the investment sector, which has come down, and I have always said that these are the right times to build companies, because here you don't focus on the FUD, you focus on the reality, solving the problem for your users. And companies, if you look back, like Google, Facebook, have come out of these sessions itself. So this is the right time to build products, right time to solve your users' need, and if you do it right, you will come out even stronger at the end of it.
Mr. Screwvala, you have seen a number of these ventures which have taken off. You have your upgrade. How do you see from here all these challenges, and how has been the learnings from the last 2 years of COVID pandemic been there?
As an entrepreneur, you're not supposed to look at challenges. You're supposed to look at opportunities. And I think that's really the only way to go. I think these are very, very opportune times. If you see the weather around here, there's a low-hanging cloud, and then there's the cloud above that. And so it just depends on which altitude you want to go at, what your ambitions are, and what you're trying to solve. So I think for me, the exciting part is building something at scale, having a large impact. And I think, therefore, education specifically. What I've seen here over the last 1.5 days, almost at diverse sessions, even if you're talking about oil exploration, they finally come back to the skilling and the reskilling revolution, and that's become a very poignant point here. So I think we're at a very interesting cusp. Specifically, I feel very proud because I think India is also at a very interesting area where we're going to be one of the only economies that's growing at that 8%, 9%. I think if you look at the next 10 years, 20 years, a very strong domestic market with the entire world thinking, where else can I invest? I think there's an incredible amount of optimism, not just here but around the world. I know right now people feel a little concerned and worried because of the, as I said, the clouds hanging around. But, we like it. There's a light little drizzle that comes there that keeps you awake, that gets you to start thinking afresh, and that's what it's about.
But capital raising, earlier, because there was so much happening across the world, things were looking so bright. Capital raising, was it easier earlier, and has it become difficult now?
When I started my life, there was no angel investors, so VC investors. So I have a very different view on capital raising. I think there's too much of a priority given to just capital raising. I think capital raising is one of 4 or 5 things that you take to build a very long-lasting company. But if you want to really outlast people, capital should be 3rd or 4th in your priority, because that's the reason for existence and reasons for well-being. Chances are you're not going to build a very long-lasting company.
Mr. Singhal, your take on capital, because you must have raised it earlier. Has it become difficult now, or because things are becoming a bit gloomier across the world?
It will definitely become harder for startups to raise capital, but right startups solving the right problem for the right set of market would definitely have those opportunities available as well. I would say that this is a better time to actually invest in your product and invest in your team in solving the right problems rather than looking for the market. Like Ronnie said, that investment should be the third or the fourth thing that you're looking out for. And if you're solving the right problems, building the right product, you will definitely get capital, even in any market.
WION now available in your country. Download the app and get all the news on the move.